So in this episode, I'm going to talk about all the add-ons and upgrades I've done to my Old Town AP136. Remember, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Tight lines. See you on the water. So I'm going to talk about upgrades I've done on my Old Town AP136. I know this is hard not to see. This is a $10 solution. I was down in California for a tournament. It was a requirement I was unaware of, and scrambled down to Bi-Mart, bought this, zip tied it in, and it's hardwired into this Dakota 10 amp hour battery pack. It's a power box. Won this at an event, and so flip of a switch, and there's my nav lights. I am going to do a permanent solution for Idaho and California. Nav lights are a requirement, and so that is something that I'm slowly but surely working on. But in the meantime, I've run a couple of tournaments with this sitting right here, and it's actually been fine. So not in a big hurry, but one of these days I will do like the Guardian lights or the Yak lights for you guys that are running those. Leave a comment, let me know how much you like those. So down here I have this D-ring. First time I drilled holes into the hull. Don't like drilling holes if I have to, but this thing's been rock solid. A plate in the front, plate in the back, 2-part epoxy, rock solid. I used to have a Burley Pro down here for the keel guard. It broke. And so instead of spending another $50, I went and got a $10 sheet of Kydex, heat formed it with a heat gun and 2-part epoxy, and it's been solid. Down here, I have my transducer mount. I did have a 3D printed one down there, and it also broke. So now, since then, I've put this new mount, and it's just way beefier than that 3D printed one I had before. On the motor, I have this weed cutter. I put it on about a year ago. It's been there ever since, and it works good. It's better than having to pull this up every few minutes to pull weeds off it. Been there, done that, and it's miserable. I put this heavy-duty hub on here. It was one of the first upgrades I did, so I didn't really run it much without it. So it's hard to really say how much of an improvement that is, but I read about it, bought it, put it on. It's been on ever since. I do run a bow line. This stays on the kayak. I never take it off. I use this for launching and when I put it back onto the trailer. And I'll use it for when I stand up in the kayak too. It just gives me that much more stability when I stand up, and works good. So the screens. These are both GPS maps versus the Echo maps. Echo maps are pretty popular because they're cheaper, but these came off my big boat. This is a 12-inch, that's a 9-inch. This is a GPS map 8612. This is the 942 XS Plus. The issue I had when I first put these on here was my GLS 10 box. This coming off the big boat, the IP address from the GLS 10 box on the boat was locked in here, and it wouldn't see this new box. And so I found out that running this in simulation mode does like a soft reset, and so that's what I did. I ran it in simulation mode, rebooted it, and it worked fine after that. That was kind of a weird fix, found it on the internet. But so if you guys get a new box, or you did like I did, transfer from another boat, and you don't see the GLS 10 box power, or if it says GLS 10 source unavailable or something like that, put it in simulation mode and then reboot it, and that's how I got it to work. All the transducers get wired into here, and then I just do the network cable between them, and it works fine. I just ran these through with the standard through hole wire connectors that came with the kayak. I did have to cut the fuse off of the power cable and then resolder it back on to get it to fit through the hole here, and it's worked fine ever since. No issues. Same thing over here. Had to cut because once you put one cable through, then that fuse for the power for the Garmin's won't fit through the hole. So and I run these, they're supposed to help eliminate interference from the motor onto the Garmin's. It might work a little bit, but unless I'm running at full power, that's the only time I don't get interference from the motor when I'm running traditional sonar on here. It's not a deal killer because the only time is when I'm on the move versus being on a spot fishing. So I do have these mounted on a Sasquatch bar, and the Sasquatch bar is mounted on the Pacific Yak Angler metal T-Tracks. That was a must. I did have it on plastic and it was too flimsy. This thing is rock solid. And so that was a pretty good upgrade. This pole right here, I added this after one day I got thrown into the rocks on the, not thrown, but you know, there was wind waves that were pushing me into the rocks. My arm got pinned on one of my rods back here because the rod was tethered in, and I reached back for the net on that side and my arm got caught on the crankbait and the rod was tethered in, and so unable to control the boat because I was too busy trying to unpin my arm from the crankbait, and I got shoved into the rocks. And pushing off the rocks, I did break my paddle because I pushed so hard. And now I use this, and this thing's been here ever since, and it's never been in the way. You know, here's my rudder lever, and it's been okay. So for PFD, this is an NRS Chinook. Works good. I do have I put this on here as an emergency knife because I had this knife already. And the only thing I've really used it for is cutting line. So as far as an emergency knife, I don't know if it's really necessary. I do have this lanyard for my phone. If you're doing kayak tournaments, this is a must. I don't know how many times I have fumbled. And anyone who's doing these tournaments knows when you try to take a picture of a fish on a catch board, you know what I'm talking about. This is a pretty new upgrade. This tray here, I pulled the clips off for the lower side because I only keep the seat up here. This is a Plano. This is for like lures of the day that I think I'm going to need, and it fits right in there. Works pretty good. Pliers and scissors. Works pretty good. So this is the transducer mount for the live view. I did have this up here. I knew about these delete plates, but I didn't want to lose my rod holder up here. And the last tournament after day 4, my back, neck, and shoulder were taking a hit from having to reach up here and spin this around. From the seat, I can get about that much travel, which is fine, but if I wanted to go out to the side or look at the fish that were behind me, I had to reach, and yeah, my shoulder, back, and neck took a hit. So I bought the delete plate from Catch, and now that's where this is going to go. I haven't used it up here yet. We'll see how it goes for the next tournament. If it still doesn't work out for me, if I still find myself with back, neck, and shoulder issues, I might go to the Sniper Marine, where you just twist it versus having to rotate it. And plus I have to pull this out and put it in the deck. And so I have gone fishing, and the other day since making this video, and I did try it with the mount right here, and I still have to reach to you know, rotate it around. Not as bad as it was here, just for that one day. You know, it's hard to tell whether it took my back took a hit or not. I was fine for that one day. I will talk about that squeak. When I'm on the water, this thing does do that squeak, and it was driving me crazy. And it's been doing that for a while, and I emailed Mike over there at Fishing Specialties how to stop the squeak. Is there a lube? I was thinking sand the plastic down a little bit or something. You know, I haven't touched it. I didn't do anything. This came in the mail, brand new block with a cone, and there was an invoice in there, and I thought, I don't remember ordering this. It was like $110 or something. I was like, man, I'm wondering if he'll let me get my money back, because it's, you know, it wasn't like $100 fix for me. To find out, after going back through my emails, he sent it and said, hey, sometimes, you know, something happens in the process and it's just bad luck, and you got one of the bad luck ones. And he just sent this to me. And all I asked was, how do I stop squeak? His solution, send a new block out. So Mike, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So I was thinking, you know, I might switch over to the Marine, the Sniper Marine, but customer service to me is everything. And so this, I might have second thoughts about switching out, but if my back, neck, and shoulder take another hit, just from having to do the reach, I might try to figure out how to mount it up here. You know, maybe put a rail, how to figure out how to put one of these rails over here or something. I don't know. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Mike over there at Fishing Specialties for doing that. That was a pleasant surprise. Got it in the mail and I was like, what? I didn't order this. So kind of cool. All right, so continuing on with the rest of the kayak, we'll talk about, yeah, that's irritating on the water. The seat. I know some of the guys have done a swivel on these seats. I don't know that I'm there to do that kind of upgrade, because I don't know, I'm just not. This is my junk box. This is where I keep my scale, unused lures, sauce, things I might need for the day. Junk box, every boat needs one. Spinner blade box. I don't know, maybe too many spinner blades, who knows. On the back of the seat, I have this. I bought this at Next Adventure. It was one of the sale items, 40% off. And even at 40% off, it was like over $50. It was like $54. For a dry bag, yeah, a little overpriced. But what I like about this one is the fact that they put this piece of plastic in here. Now the zipper is kind of a pain, but I mean it's still doable. But I like how they have this plastic in here and it forms it for this big wide opening. And so my polarized sunglasses, extra line, all my hat, gloves, gator, towels, you know, rags, is in here. And so this is stuff that I would used to put back here in this crate, and so I actually do like it. Worth $54? Jury's still out on that one. My seat riser, it's a piece of 2x4. All I did was drill a couple holes, zip tied it, put a piece of a couple of pieces of plastic right here to make sure it stays aligned right here, because before I did this actually flopped around. But ever since I've done this, it's been solid. We might as well talk about what's under the seat here. My clamp for putting fish back in the water while I get ready to take its picture on the catch board. It's a 105 amp hour main battery for the motor, and that's all that this thing does, is just the motor. And there are times when I have run out of juice on the water because I'm fighting wind and other kayakers in a tournament, and getting from spot to spot in a hurry is kind of a thing. So I have run out of juice on the water and I've had to paddle up the Columbia against the current. That was no fun. And it happened to be on an opening day for sockeye up in Umatilla Lake, and I was fighting all the bank anglers, and that was kind of a mess. But I was late to the weigh-in and I got DQ'd out of that event. So that was a learning experience. Since then, I bought this. This is my backup battery, another 100 amp hour. And I'm going to get a battery box for this, so it has the same connection like this right here. And so even with that new battery box from Old Town, and the price of this battery was still less than the battery that I paid for underneath here. Under here, I have 3 30-amp batteries for all the electronics, and all the electronics includes both my cameras. The kayak's a mess because I just got back from a fishing trip. So I run a GoPro. I'll talk a little bit about that here in a sec. This gets mounted back here on a Scotty mount, and we'll talk about that here in a sec. I'm going to show you what's underneath here. We'll probably have to pull this one out. I do run a piece of foam right here because there's a hump right here and that battery box wobbles, and so I put this foam in there to kind of help even it out. But underneath here I run 3 30 amp hour batteries over there hooked in parallel. My 2 GoPros, the 2 screens, the wiring for the quick disconnect for charging, and my GLS 10 box back this way. I have them all mounted on plywood with Velcro to keep them in place because the hull has got a shape to it, and so otherwise that stuff would slide around. So and that's what's going on underneath this hull cap. I figured I'd rather drill into here instead of the hull of the boat. I could always buy a new cap if I needed to. So here's the 2 cameras. This is for my Insta360 X4 up front. This is for the GoPro I run in the back. And my quick disconnect, I run this on this box as well, because while that is in here, I wired these quick disconnects into my multi battery charger, and it has these on it and works great. Moving towards the back, this is my catch board. I have this on a lanyard. They say if you love it, leash it. And so yeah, anytime I go out on the water, this gets leashed in, and don't want to lose that. For the tournaments, you have to have an approved catch board with your identifiers, and so that's the name of that game. So I said I was going to talk about my GoPro. This is on a monopod from Amazon. It was like 30 bucks, and I modded it. It was a DIY project, and I put this Scotty mount on it. It's a monopod for cameras, for still cameras, but I pulled out the one that was in here, and I screwed this in, and this Scotty mount came off the big boat because I converted it all to Folby. So this is stuff I had already. And so versus $100 yak camera stick at the time, this just made sense, and so that's what I did, and it works great. You know, this thing telescopes way out. I still have 2 more, you know, but I don't ever use them. I'd go about this far when I'm on the water, and it's been a good little stick. It works really good. So, and this is one of the cords that's wired into the box here, and this is a water resistant connection, and from 3BR Power Sports, along with this case. These cases work absolutely great in the weather. I could run this GoPro all day because I can't reach it from the seat when it's running. So I run it on ship's power. That's what I consider these 3 batteries in here, ship's power. And once I turn it on for the day, it just stays on. I don't ever turn it off or do any adjustments or anything, you know, just set it, forget it. And that's how I run this back camera. Going into the box here, I put this soft plastics box pouch in here. This was a kit I got from Next Adventure, just a bungee kit. Came with these little anchors right here. It's screwed right into the top of the lid here, and I used some double back tape. This one's coming apart. Gotta get some fresh tape in there. And so these are the plastics I use for the day. Seems to work pretty good if you don't put too much in there, because the whole idea was was for easy reach. And so I do have some other stuff laying in here. Just some leader, some gloves I won at the last event that needs to go into that bag, I guess. Ooh, one of the hooks came out. And so these are jigs I've poured. These are jigs I've bought. So it's just some lead jigs, some kind of, these are the boxes I kind of started out with. They don't fit up here like these boxes do. These flambeaus, these work great. These go into these, I have one on each side, and they work great. So I do have some emergency equipment that I might rethink. Medical kit, I don't know. The only thing I've ever used out of here were band-aids when I put a hook in my finger. Suntan lotion I don't use enough of. I have a Garmin InReach, handheld VHF battery powered radio I've never used in the 2 years I've been doing tournaments. Batteries for the 360 light, that's a must. Leatherman, zip ties, and magic marker for the identifier for the catch board. My out-of-state license, spare plug for the scupper plug, and crankbaits, glide baits, frogs, top water, soft plastics, and other miscellaneous stuff in here. And that's what I run in this box. In the crate, that's where the spare battery goes when I think I'm going to need it. Pee bottle, guy my age, it's a must. That's where I keep the cam strap for the back of the boat. My 360 light stays in there. I bought a new prop because this one got so banged up. I did dress it out and now I keep it as a spare, but I've never had an issue with the old one breaking. But because it's an extra, it goes in my trunk. Moving back, this is a cam strap. I used to have a ratchet strap, too much stress on the hull. Now I have one of these. I did put ropes back here. I don't think, you know, it helps when I'm having to lift the back end up instead of reaching down here. It was easier on the back. Putting these ropes on, not a big deal. My paddle, like I said, I broke the tip off pushing off that one day off the rocks. That was not fun. On here, this is where I run my remote. I do have, oh, this is a lure retriever. Haven't had to use it yet. We'll see how that goes. But once you start spending $50–$60 on a lure, even up to $100–$200, if it gets stuck, you want to get it back. This was like, I don't know, $40–$50 or something. I don't know. Piece of insurance. So instead of putting this around my neck, this goes right here. This was a handle I bought from Navarro, and ever since I've installed it, put the remote right there, rock solid, works great. The net always stays back here in this rod holder. I do have 9 rod holders, 6 on the box, 3 back here. Do I need them all? I bring 9 rods. Do I need them all? Yeah, not really. I'd probably use 2 or 3 rods at the most, but you know, when you suffer FOMO, fear of missing out, you don't want to be caught without a rod you thought you might need. And cup holder there. Here's the other flambeau box I have, whatever you think you need for the day. And that's about it for this kayak. It's a system that's working for me right now. The only upgrade I see in the foreseeable future is if I want to run that Sniper Marine up here. I see those, I see other boats with them. They seem to like them, and time will tell if this is going to be an upgrade. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, leave them down below. And tight lines. See you on the water.